5 signs that you need to transform, and so we'll go through number one. Number one reason you might need to transform your project and work management: your project information is spread among disparate legacy systems. Number two, you're wasting time on tedious, repetitive tasks.
Yeah,
Number
and
three.
I'm sorry, Brian. I just want to pause on that one for a second because it goes back to what you had in transforming the project managers. There was another study, I think this was Gartner as well, that talked about, well, IDC and Forrester have also done similar studies that said the role of the project manager will be changing. And by the year, somewhere around, I think it's 2030, around 80% of the traditional tasks that project and work managers do now, which is this exact thing, number two, which is chasing data, which is tedious, repetitive tasks, putting it in spreadsheets, aggregating things from different places. 80% of that work is going to be eliminated through automation. And this is really, so if there's nothing else that people take away from this, what we're talking about here is a first step in that direction of minimizing the work effort, not just for the project managers, but for everyone, and moving towards a more automated way that creates much more robust data and information. And it will be a competitive advantage for those who embrace it.
Right, because they're not spending all that time doing all that other stuff, and they're able to use their time more wisely on more meaningful strategic efforts.
Yeah.
You want to work more efficiently, and you want to do that from the cloud. And the hybrid workforce is something that is worth mentioning here as well, because a lot of folks are no longer working in a common work area, and they're working from home, and having cloud systems and having your data centralized in cloud systems is becoming more and more important. You need complete visibility to help drive decisions, and you're not getting that if your data is disparate. That dashboard, that report that you're looking for, even if you're an executive and you're saying, okay, well, I have my report, my people put my report together for me and they deliver it to me every Thursday. Do you have any idea how much time your people are spending putting that on your desk? Are you sure that there are systems in place that automate that, or are people basically spending hours and hours every week putting those KPIs together for you and making them graphic and putting that into a nice report? Do you think that that's automated, or do you think it's maybe manual? Because if it's manual, there are hours and hours of work going into that.
And it's not just the time. The time is a big. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so it's not just the time that goes into it. It's also how if it's not automated, like you said, Brian, is it accurate? Because how much of the data are you pulling together that may be old, or is it now, as you're doing the aggregation and being hand rolled, is it being subject to human error to put it together?
Right.
So the accuracy of the data and the time, and the timeliness of the data, all of those things come to play there.
Yeah, and let's kind of bring that full circle back to that project management systems are a representation of the data, and to the degree that we can increase the proximity between the actual work that's going on and the data that's being represented, then it's going to be more accurate and more meaningful. So what we're saying is that even if you have a project management system, is that a representation of the actual work that's going on, or is that just someone going in and saying that it's red, yellow, and green? How much subjectivity is going into that, and are people painting a rosy picture because it's every week they just don't want to be on the naughty list?
Exactly.
Your work is managed inefficiently with disconnected tools. So if you're having conversations like integration conversations, or if you're having conversations about, this department uses one system, one cloud-based project management works management system, and this department uses another, and this department uses another one, and you're having conversations that are causing you to think about, am I in a situation where my data is never going to be consolidated? It's never going to be connected? Then you need to transform.
Absolutely.